Hello and welcome back, my name is Monkey and welcome back to ARK. So last episode we managed to tame a Basilosaurus for the water cave further down the line. But to be honest, I'll probably be getting a better one off camera just so we're on the safe side. But yeah, speaking of caves, last episode we also managed to conquer another cave and acquiring another artifact, which was awesome. So yeah, now today's episode is going to be a building one. What we're building, you may be asking, is we're going to be building a blacksmith or a smelting hut, whatever you want to sort of class it as, just so we can smelt metal en masse, because I'm starting to need a lot of it. We've got a few blueprints that require a lot of metal ingots. So, yeah, we need to try and get on top of that and get that sorted, just so we're not waiting absolutely an absolute age using the forges or the regular forges. But before we do that, I have a few things I want to show you that I've done off camera. So let's go and have a look, shall we? Okay, so what's been done off camera is quite a bit. First of all, we've been playing with colours, trying to find out what sort of colour palette would look nice for this joint. So we've gone with brick for the time being for the wooden railings. I think this looks quite nice. It looks quite a bit like mahogany. So we're going to be sticking with that for the railings because I think it just looks really nice and adds a bit more depth to the build. And we've also painted the stairs in black, even though it still looks brown, but it looks kind of like more weathered and worn, and it looks like it's sort of been varnished as well. So yeah, the colours that we've sort of done so far sort of, I think, accentuates the build a little bit. So yeah, we've also been building up here. This is going to be the platform for the industrial forge. You can feel this nice little gap that's been screaming out. So yeah, can't wait to get that up. And then we've also built some stairs just so we can come up here, just so we can get access all the way around without needing to basically go the long way around, because we can now sort of like come through here and to the storage room and so on and so forth, especially from here as well. You'll be able to go from the back side of the forge and then straight up into the storage room. But yeah. What else we've been doing as well is building basically the front and the sides of this bird coop up, trying to make it a little bit more pleasing to the eye, rather than having this big slab of stone walls that's going up on the front. And I've also teared out a hole there. I'm going to be talking about barn doors later, but that's sort of where I'd love to put one. Just so I could just basically, instead of having to open that big door, I could just leave the top door open and then just use that for bringing birds in and out. And then I could use this for sort of keeping it closed and having things on wandering if I'm breeding and stuff like that. Just so I've got like 2 ports of exits. But that's just me. But yeah, we'll talk about barn doors when I go over to that, when we're building the skeleton of that industrial forge bit over there. Right. So yeah, this is going all the way around. I think, to be honest, it does break up the stone wall quite a lot. Obviously, I need to add in more windows. They will be added all the way around here. And I'm also going to be building sort of... I'm not sure if I'm going to be like creating an exit on the bottom part of it, but I might put some windows in or something like that on the bottom. I'm not sure yet. But everything from like this floor to that floor to that floor, or that floor and that floor is going to have windows, and then that's going to be sort of more like smaller windows, I reckon. And then also as well, we might be adding some windows to the storage hut as well. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, we've been playing about with a few things. I've been playing about with roofs as well, trying to create a nice little sort of, I don't know what you would call this, but basically just like a cover for this balcony area. I think this looks quite nice. So we used stairs, but we turned them to ramps, just so we could actually have this bit here, because I was trying to build with sloped roofs, but because the snap points are an absolute pain in this game, I just kind of gave up and tried to see if I could come up with a different way of doing it. And I think doing it like this is quite nice, actually. But again, with playing Ascended, I would have been able to, I would have liked to just have the quarter tiles there, because then it wouldn't be as, it would look a little bit better rather than using a full tile just for that little bit of overhang. But either way, I think it looks cool. I think it looks quite nice, especially at a distance. It doesn't look too garish. It looks still, like, in proportion, it looks okay. But yeah, that's what's been happening off camera. Been doing a lot of grinding on that aspect, trying to make everything look a little bit sort of better, a little bit more pleasing, a little bit more loved, so to speak. But yeah, let's go over to FedEx and see what materials we're going to be using today. Okay, so what we're going to be using today is we're going to be using a stone pallet along with a wood pallet. The stone's going to be on the bottom along with the wood being on the top. We're going to be painting that wood white, so that's why we've got the white dye here. And we've also got some beer barrels just to make things look fancy, and then a fireplace as well, and a few forges as well just to put around, make it look a little bit sort of, And a feeding trough, and what else we got? I think we've got a few other bits and pieces. I think we've got a few torches, but I think they're on the smithy bench in the storage hut. So, I'm going to leave you with some footage of what basically I would like to be, or going over the building in Ascended. It's not going to be sort of in-depth or anything like that, it's just basically my opinions of what I would like to see added to the game in future. So yeah, I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to build the basic skeleton of this forging or smithy or blacksmith, whatever would you like to call it, and we'll come back in once that's built, dress it all up together, and we'll talk about some other bits. So let's go, and I'll leave you with that footage. Okay, so here we are in ARK Ascended, and just gotta say I love the changes that have been made to this game. It's very sort of like a breath of fresh air for the game. Like everything, like with the terrain now, it looks really up to date, and it looks more pleasing to the eye. Like the foliage looks a lot more realistic, and sort of like with that sort of fading transition where you see the dead sort of leaves underneath. I really do like that. So yeah, but without digressing into how gorgeous the game looks now, I just want to go into the building. So basically, first off, I love the new building sort of way, or the new way of building, shall I say. So with that, I mean that with like the user interface. So say for example, if I was to click onto a tile now, you'll see that there's a little menu now that you can sort of scroll through, and you've got different tiles that you can use, and that's like the same with all these different sort of tiles. So instead of having to learn all those engrams, it's now in one engram, which I really like. That's a really positive change, I think. And that way, I think it's sort of, I think now we can probably unlock everything. I'm not sure because I've not tested it, and I've not looked at any videos yet regarding it. Unfortunately, I can't sort of like say my opinion on that yet. But yeah, when I get around to doing that and sort of, you know, investigating it, I'll probably come up with some sort of video and let you guys know. But yeah, so with those menus now with the building, and also being able to have the different snap points and having the ease of use, we've been able to select what snap point you want by pressing Q on the PC. I'm not sure what it is on the consoles. I've not played it yet on consoles. I'm not sure I will though. But yeah, all in all, real positive changes for the builds, for building. So yeah, love it. Let's go over to a little thing that I've created. It's basically just a little walkway. I was prattling about with elevations in the roof, trying to see if there's any way of blending sort of like a roof or one roof into another roof on like a walkway, so sort of on a different transition. So yeah, we'll go over there and have a look at that. Okay, so quickly, just before it gets dark here, light's definitely fading fast. So basically, what I would like to see added is sloped roof and sloped triangle roof tiles, because like this just looks ridiculous. Like, say for example, if you're wanting to do a walkway with like a roof on it, I think we should be able to have like quarter panels for this, so we can make it sort of like A, less steeper, and B, sort of more compact. So yeah. Also as well, say for example, if I wanted to build something. Hello? Get rid of you first. I'll be back. Okay, now we're not being disturbed again. Right. So say for example, if I wanted to build in odd numbers, quarter tiles would come in use, because like say for example here, I'd be able to put 2 quarter triangles like what it is here for doing in even numbers. and then also being able to use the sloped quarter roofs as well. So I'll be able to basically create a peaked roof on a peaked roof. So like say for example, if we did that peak, we have a peak here just sort of like coming out and making the roof look a little bit more pleasing. So yeah, I think what could be added and would be a nice thing just to be able to have more diversity in building would be to have those sloped triangles and sloped roof tiles in quarter form as well. Um, because yeah, I think it would just be able to add more diversity to buildings. Again, saying that. So yeah, right. So over to the next thing, which is the cellar doors. I must say, I like it how we don't have to build a frame now for the cellar doors, and we can just basically use them as like that, which is a really, really nice change. So yeah. But however, I would have liked to have seen some sort of like barn door that's kind of like a cellar door but sideways. Then that way, when you're, say for example, wanting to do, or like myself, where I like things to be accessible with dinosaurs as well. So say for example, like if you're building like a blacksmith or a forgery, I'd be able to walk in with the ankylosauruses and be able to drop it off, and the same with the Argentavises. But when you have like say for example an open gap where, or say for example, we'll use this as an example. So this would be an open gap, and say for example you would want to put a door on it, but the only thing you can really do is put a double door. And yeah, we all know that an anklo or argent will not go through a double door. So yeah, it would be nice to, especially like for those dinosaurs, being able to have like a barn door, because we do have a one tile one here. So like this is basically one tile spacing. So if you were to have that on the side, but say for example having like this bigger one here, yeah, because this is 3 by 2, I think. I know 3 by 1.5. So that's weird. But yeah, being able to have like a barn door, that would be really, really nice. Or those kind of like cellar doors sideways, just so we can basically, or like if you're building something, you'll be able to put a door on a wider gap instead of needing to use like a Dino gate or a Behemoth gate. So yeah, I think that's something else that could be added. Okay, so number three. Number three is basically windows. Yes, I like them. They're all right. They're cool. But say, for example, when you're building on a bigger scale, these windows look really, really off and sort of like they don't match. So you have to end up using like these type of like the greenhouse structures to use like for windows and stuff. It's sort of, but it's sort of a little bit not like for me, it's not pleasing to the eye to use like a full window with like a metal frame. I would much prefer to have, say, for example, this window here to be taller and a little bit wider. And that way it's kind of a little bit more pleasing to the eye rather than you've got that sort of like wood surround, and sort of it's blends better into whatever material you sort of using. So like with wood here, you would have a wood surrounding and you could sort of blend that in with the rest of the wood. So yeah, I would like to see them sort of being a little bit taller, or sort of like just being re-looked at, just to make them a little bit more sort of more in size proportion, if you know what I mean. Because I've always felt like they've always been a little bit sort of off in the size proportion of what like they could be, or what like a normal window would be, especially sort of like you'd be able to have. What would be nice is having like a double window that sort of like opens up, like a double window frame. That'd be kind of cool actually. Yeah, in fact, no, scrap that. So yeah, have something like this for like a small house, but then like for like a big house, I'd like them to add a window tile. That's like a double window tile frame. I think that would look really, really nice, and it would sort of make other builds look a little bit fresher as well, or fresher, sorry, a little bit more interesting to the eye, rather than sort of like using a whole entire either greenhouse or a glass pane just to put a window in. You'll see what I'm on about when I go over to, or when we go back to Survival Evolved, after when I've, or now should be, the skeleton should be built now. So yeah, we'll have a look at that and I'll sort of explain what I mean by sort of having a bigger window and also like with the odd numbers as well. So yeah, number 4, this is the last one. So number 4 is pillars. So those who have played Survival Evolved and not just Ascended, which I probably presume that most of you have played Survival Evolved, but yeah, these pillars here, basically I would like it so they could snap halfway up, because like if I wanted to do a wood pillar on top of a concrete pillar, it looks like it's sort of floating and it looks kind of crap. Sorry, but that's kind of my feeling on it. It doesn't look right unless you put like a ceiling tile or a floor tile there. It sort of hides the blend, but like for this, it just looks horrible. So what I would like is sort of like if you're able to put a pillar like the old days, where you could have it so it's halfway over a wooden pillar, make it look like the pillar's actually set in concrete. I think that would be kind of cool to have back, because yeah, it just doesn't look right in my eyes. It would just be nice to have it sort of be able to have the stone overlapping the wood just so it blends in a little bit, so it looks more structurally sound than just hovering on top of it like that. So yeah, those are the things I would like to see being added. And yeah, let's go back and see what's been built. Okay, welcome back. Right, so yes, expanding on from that though. So say for example with the windows. So see that window there? It would have been nice if I could have had like a double window frame. So I could have had like 2 windows that would open up. That would look really, really nice and a nice addition to the build, instead of just having just like that flat glass or greenhouse wall there. So yeah, I would have preferred that. Would have been nice, or even just be able to put shutters on it. Just be able to put shutters on it and open them up. It would look sort of a little bit better, add a little bit more dimension to the build. And also with the sloped roofs as well. It's like, say for example, this bit on the front here, this tiny peak, you'll be able to have a nice little sort of cheeky overhang without it sort of being too dramatic, and it would sort of add a little bit of extra spice to it, which would be quite nice. That's what I sort of mean that sort of you could do with those quarter versions of the triangles and also the sloped. So the triangle wall, I think. No, yeah, triangle wall. I think we haven't got a quart for that one. I'll have to recheck, but yeah, predominantly just those sloped ones, just so we can do like say those cheeky little spicy overhangs. So yeah, and again, this is what I mean here. I would love to have been able to sort of, if I was able to build in odds and have like a peak here where the Argent head is, just sort of having a peak here. And then I would have been able to have these windows sort of like a little bit more accentuated, which would have been quite nice to add to the build, a little bit of a flavour, mixing up the roof a little bit, making it a little bit more interesting to the eye. But yeah, that is one of the things that I really would like to be seen or have added in the future, is those quarter sloped variants. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically grab the little bits and pieces that we need for dressing up. And while we're dressing up the place, I would like to talk about sort of like the decorative blocks I would like to be added to the game. Now, bear with me, this is kind of a me thing, because I'm used to having a lot of things to be able to like, say for example, because I play a lot of Minecraft back in the day and also still to the present, I have a lot of things that I can use for decorating, making builds look a little bit different from, say for example, the next build or whatever, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about sort of like decorative things that I would like to see added, just to sort of add a little bit more spice, a little bit more flavour to builds, and sort of mix it up and not be sort of the same as Joe Blogs down the road, because there's only one type of building to do. So yeah, let me go a little bit there, put my tea back again. Let me go grabbing bits and pieces, and I'll meet you inside the actual building itself. Okay, while Monkey's away doing the sprucing up bit, I'll leave it running in the background just so you can see what's happening and whatnot like that. I've only got a couple of points here that I actually want to sort of talk about, just the the things that has come straight to my head as first thinking about this when I was playing ARK Ascended. So it'd be nice to have some sort of storage barrel, because I was looking for barrels for this build for the blacksmith, because it has barrels on the outside of the picture that I was using for reference. And I thought, yeah, that would be quite a good idea actually, to have sort of barrels you can store stuff in, or as an actual decorative block. That way, just sort of puts a little bit more sort of flavor to the build, a bit more variety. So yeah, and with that, you'll be able to actually store stuff in it like you can do with a regular chest. So that would be really, really nice if that was an option. Also, some sort of planting like flora, or like, say for example, like a plant pot where you can actually plant a flower in it or something like that, or something like a bush, and that way you could have some sort of greenery added to your build, rather than just sort of it being the same old two-toned of stone and wood, or sometimes the odd occasion of, I think, whatever the color of the adobe ones is, cream walls, or basically greenhouse, which is basically see-through. So there's not really a lot of sort of variance with the colors, apart from, like, yes, you can paint, but like sometimes adding a bit of plantation does set a build apart, rather than just being an actual building there. That's just me coming from, like, say for example, a Minecraft, or that's me coming from a Minecraft background, being able to have sort of like vines, and sort of being able to put bushes or leaves down and make them into bushes and that type of thing. But yeah, that's something which I would like to see sort of added. It just adds a bit more life to the build, I reckon, having that greenery sort of aspect to it. Um, so I would also like to see tool racks being added. So what I mean by that is, like, sort of, say for example, a shelf or something that you can hang up, and then you can display your tools on it. And then when you go up to that tool and pick it up, it would put it automatically into where it is on. So say for example, there's the third slot on the tool rack. You put your pickaxe there, and then you go, okay, right, I want my pickaxe, and it will go put it back into the third slot. So then that way it's not messing up your whole entire HUD, and you still keep everything in order. That, I think that'd be pretty cool, especially with like the guns. You're about how we have like a gun rack, so you can show your guns off and stuff like that. It's like, that'd be quite nice. Now, I understand probably some of this that I am going to be talking about is, or can be, fixed with mods, but I'm talking from a vanilla aspect of the game. Um, so not all people want to play with mods. Yes, it's fun to look at. I have been tempted to run a mod on this. I've just seen one for I think it was the Japanese sort of architect. So I would like to download that mod and see what that's about. But yeah, either way, because I know that armor stands is a thing. I've seen them, and I don't know if there was actually in a modded world, and they were using like the armor stands were from the modded pack. I'm not quite sure, but seeing armor stands in vanilla would be really, really cool, because you could just put your favorite armor on there, and again, as soon as you picked it up off the stand, it would automatically put it on you. That type of thing. But yeah, I would also like to see, like, because I've basically seen that you can now track recipes. But what would be nice if you could, say, for example, have a billboard, and you could basically take that recipe from your chest or your bookshelf, and be able to actually store it on, call it, on the billboard. And then when you were to look at, like, at the recipe, it would have like hover over text where you can actually see the recipe. So say for example, you could have it in a kitchen, you can walk over, okay, bang, and you just keep doing that, rather than need to have this extra thing on your screen. If you know what I mean, it just makes everything look a little bit cleaner, and it's sort of a bit more immersive, I would say, even for someone to watch it. So yeah, those are the 5 things that I would like to see being added into ARK Ascended. And if you guys agree, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you disagree, then let me know why. But yeah, it would just be nice to be able to add a few more sort of decorative tiles and try to make the builds look a little bit more different, a little more diverse, and sort of a little bit sort of unique, rather than sort of like the plain old simple method of what I've seen a few people building as. So yeah, that's all in a nutshell. I will bring you back now to the other monkey. And hopefully he's now finished putting all the decorative stuff in, and we can basically start painting this, and then yeah, have a nice little grand reveal. So let's get on with it, or let's pass you back. Okay, right, so welcome back. Yeah, just a few little bits and pieces that I would like to see added to the game. But what we've got going on up here is basically we've got our forges up here now ready for making fuel. A few little chests. This is sort of like phase one of what this area is going to be. I'm not quite finished it yet. I need a way more cementing paste and bits and pieces to be able to finish it off, like regarding with lighting and basically other bits and pieces that I would like to add in around this area. So yeah, we've got the big main forge here. So there's going to be melting up all of our metal soon. It's going to be lovely because that's just going to be smelting it like absolute nobody's business. And it's a hell of a lot faster than trying to smelt it down in a forge. So I'm going to paint this up. Oh, in fact, what we've got going on out here is just a few decorative forges as well. Got a feeding trough. We're like putting, I don't know, you put some water in there and so on and so forth. Just there for its imagination, a bit of decorativeness. And then we've got a few beer barrels here as well. Just acting as if like we've got a bit of storage out here, or we're storing something like oil or something like that. So yeah, looking quite nice. I wish that the doors did come out the other way like, but nay mind. But yeah, we've got a few wooden beams in here as well. No, we had that beforehand, but yeah, just putting a few rails here as well, just to try and make it look a little bit tidier, a little bit more interesting or pleasing to the eye. And yeah, just added it out at the back here as well. So I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Aye. So I'm going to paint it up, and then we'll do the grand reveal outside, and yeah, go from there. So, 2 secs, I'll be back with you. Why does it always rain on me? Anyway, yeah, so we've finished the spray painting now for this joint. We've got the black and white. Unfortunately, we know that the pigments aren't as strong as they should be. But it does look okay. I do like it. It's not 100% bad. I'm tempted to do the wooden slats going downwards in the brick red, because I think that will accent quite nicely, especially when it's the wood shining, or when the sun's shining on it. It should bring that like mahogany colour, which look pretty nice. So yeah. So quickly, we've got basically, I've left this open so we can get access with Argent and Anklos, because otherwise you've got to sort of do the thing where you got to drop them all out and then yeah, pick them all up and put them in a forge. But if I can sort of drop them all off here with the bird, and then it's sort of like less distance, I can actually make sure I get all the loot rather than sort of just little bits. So that's kind of the reason why I'm not doing this, or sort of like filling this in. It would be nice, like I said beforehand, you guys have those barn doors. Then I can have them open, and then I'll be able to close them up, make it a little bit more secure. So yeah, it would be nice as well. Obviously, this is an ascended thing, which I'm quite missing at this precise moment in time, is the being able to take pillars up on the actual side of the wall, and then being able to bring them over the top. I think that would look really nice if we had that sort of on the front here, and then also on the back, and then also up here as well. Would be nice. Okay, why is it spray? Okay. You have to tidy that up at some point. Right. So, yeah. Kind of it in a nutshell, really. Sort of like why we've left them open. But I hope you like this build. So I've definitely tried to push myself out of my comfort zone for this. Trying to create something a little bit more interesting. Something that's not sort of the usual square type of builds. But yeah, I hope you guys like this. Hope it's looking awesome to you guys. I know for myself, I really do like this. I think it looks really cool right now. It's if you're wondering what the inspiration is off, it's I don't know if I mentioned this before, but it's off Age of Empires. That blacksmith, what I've tried to replicate. So yeah. So with the spray painting done, I think that's the build coming to its conclusion for the time being. until I get a few more bits and pieces to be able to sprucing the place up a little bit more, making it look a little bit more organic, so to speak. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and goodbye.